Welcome back, beautiful people. You're tuned in to Royal Sussex Squad, where we speak truth to power, where we uplift Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with the respect and love they deserve, and where we don't let a single smear campaign slide without dragging it into the daylight. And today we're talking about something that should shake every decent person to their core. It's about the safety, the dignity, and the life of Prince Harry. Yes, his actual life. Being treated like a political football in the UK's twisted royal power games. And we're not having it. Not today, not ever. Now let's be very clear from the beginning. This isn't just a legal case. This isn't just some dry court battle over policies or paperwork. This is about a man who was born into a life of relentless scrutiny, who watched his own mother, Princess Diana, be hunted by paparazzi and left to die in a tunnel in Paris because security failed, because the system failed. And now, decades later, her son, is standing in court having to fight for the basic protection that should have been his by default. Prince Harry flew 5,000 miles from California, where he lives a peaceful, purpose-driven life with his wife Meghan and their two beautiful children, just to attend this two-day hearing in person at the Royal Courts of Justice. He didn't send his legal team alone. He didn't zoom in from the comfort of his Montecito home. He showed up because this matters. Because this isn't just about legal precedent. It's about the core of who he is as a man, a husband, and a father. And his barrister, the brilliant and fearless Shaheed Fatima KC, stood in front of that courtroom and dropped a truth bomb that cannot be ignored. She said, and I quote, "There is a person sitting behind me whose safety, whose security, and whose life is at stake." And that person was Harry, not the spare, not some headline, not a character in the firm's PR machine, a human being, a son, a father, a man who served his country, a man who is constantly under threat from extremists and conspiracy-fueled hate whipped up by the very media the royals stay in bed with. But instead of protecting him, what did the UK government do? They stripped him of his publicly funded security the moment he dared to step back from royal duties in 2020. They removed it after he and Meghan said, "No more. No more racism, no more tabloid abuse. No more of the palace leaking and planting stories to protect others while throwing them under the bus." And what was the response from the palace and their government allies? Not a negotiation, not compassion, not understanding. No, they yanked his security and said, "You're on your own." And then, just to salt the wound, they tried to spin it by saying he would receive a bespoke security arrangement. Bespoke. Doesn't that sound nice? Like it's tailor-made, like it's extra special. But no. In this case, bespoke was nothing but a cover word for inferior, inadequate, and deliberately weakened. His legal team made that clear in court. They said the new system he was offered was manifestly worse in every way. Less protection, less consistency, less transparency. Fatima KC said, "The appellant does not accept that bespoke means better. In fact, in his position, it means he has been singled out for different, inferior treatment." And let me just say this, if that doesn't scream targeted retribution, I don't know what does. Because let's be honest, this isn't happening to any other royal. Not the silent ones, not the scandalous ones, not the ones who haven't worked a day in the last decade, but are still riding around with bodyguards like they're doing the nation a favor. Meanwhile, Harry, who's been a working royal, a soldier, a mental health advocate, a man who has walked behind his mother's coffin in front of the whole world and still turned out decent, is being told, "Sorry mate, you're just not special enough anymore." And don't forget, the Home Office's excuse was that Harry's case was unique because of his decision to step back from royal duties. But what they really meant was that he had the nerve to choose peace over protocol. He had the courage to protect his wife and his babies when nobody else would. And for that, they are punishing him. During the hearing, Prince Harry reportedly threw his pen down in frustration while listening to the Home Office's weak circular arguments. And who could blame him? After everything he's endured, having to fight the very system that raised him just for the right to not be a sitting duck in the middle of a global media circus, who wouldn't be frustrated? And let's not ignore what happened during the hearing either. A supporter, clearly emotional, shouted out in court in defense of Harry and had to be escorted out. That wasn't just about someone breaking decorum. That was a cry of solidarity. That was pain boiling over. Because people see what's happening. They see the gaslighting. They see the cruelty. They see how Harry and Meghan have been vilified for choosing joy, choosing autonomy, choosing love over duty to a dysfunctional system. And what's the response from the establishment? Delay, deflection, and more delay. At the end of the hearing, the judges said they'll release their decision in writing at a later date, most unlikely before Easter. Really? While Harry and his family are left vulnerable? while the threats don't take holidays? This isn't just legal negligence, it's moral failure. It's cowardice wrapped in protocol. It's cruelty dressed up in court robes. But here's the thing that the royal institution and their loyal press don't understand. Harry's power doesn't come from their titles. His power comes from truth, from love, from the global support of people who see through the lies, people like you, the Royal Sussex Squad. We've watched this man grow. We've watched him take hit after hit and still stand tall. We've watched him defend his wife with dignity, even when his own family stayed silent. We've watched him become the man his mother would be proud of. And we will not let them break him. We will not let the narrative be twisted. We will not let the smear machine win. So if you're with me, if you're with Harry, with Meghan, with truth, then make sure your voice is heard. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update, and most importantly, show your love and support by hitting that super thanks button below. Every contribution, big or small, helps us keep speaking truth to power. It helps us drown out the noise and amplify the truth. Because Harry deserves protection, Meghan deserves peace. Archie and Lilibet deserve a future where they aren't punished for who their parents are. And every time we show up, every time we share the truth, every time we lift our voices, we get one step closer to the justice they deserve. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for standing on the side of love, of dignity, of facts. And to those still trying to tear Harry and Meghan down, you better get comfortable being uncomfortable because they're not backing down and neither are we. This is Royal Sussex Squad. Stay safe, stay bold, and most of all, stay royal, y'all. Prince Harry is in a battle for his safety, a battle for his family's safety. He's facing powerful forces, the UK government and the very institution he was born into. At stake is his right to live without fear, a right brutally denied to his mother, Princess Diana. Harry's decision to step back from royal duties wasn't about turning his back on his heritage, it was about protecting his wife Meghan and their children from the relentless negativity and intrusion of the British tabloid press. It was about choosing a different path, but the threats haven't stopped. And the institution that once vowed to protect him now seems indifferent to his pleas for adequate security. Harry is challenging this betrayal, seeking justice not just for himself, but for anyone who has been made to feel unsafe. This isn't just about royal privilege, it's about basic human rights. Harry's fight is a fight for everyone who deserves to live without fear. The tragic death of Princess Diana is a wound that never fully heals. It's a constant reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked media intrusion and the failure to protect those in the public eye. Harry was only 12 years old when he lost his mother. He witnessed firsthand the relentless pursuit, the hounding by paparazzi, and the constant fear that shadowed her life. He knows the price of inadequate security, and he refuses to let history repeat itself. Diana's absence hangs heavy over this legal battle. It fuels Harry's determination to protect his own family from the same forces that took his mother away too soon. The echoes of the past are a stark reminder of what's at stake. This isn't just a legal fight, it's a deeply personal one. Thousands of miles away from his home in California, Prince Harry sat in a London courtroom. His presence spoke volumes. He wasn't going to fight this battle from afar. He was there to look those challenging his safety in the eye. Every camera flash, every whispered word, every gesture was scrutinized. The world watched as Harry, once the carefree younger brother, now a husband and father, carried the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. His decision to attend the hearing in person was a powerful statement. He was not going to be silenced. He was not going to back down. Harry's determination to fight for his family's safety was evident in every step he took, every word he uttered, every glance he cast. This was a father on a mission. Shaheed Fatima KC, a barrister known for her sharp intellect and unwavering commitment to justice, stands by Harry's side. Her voice, clear and resolute, rings out in the courtroom, cutting through the noise and misinformation. She argues that Harry's life is in danger, that the threats are real, and that the current security measures offered by the Home Office are woefully inadequate. She highlights the difference between bespoke security and truly effective protection, emphasizing the unique risks Harry faces. Her words are not just legal arguments but a passionate defense of a man who has been let down by the very system that should be protecting him. She is a beacon of hope, a voice for the voiceless, standing up for what is right. Section 5. A system of inadequacy, the Home Office's stance. The Home Office, tasked with ensuring the safety and security of the United Kingdom, stands as a formidable opponent. Their stance is cold, bureaucratic, seemingly indifferent to the very real dangers Harry and his family face. They argue that Harry's changed status, his decision to step back from royal duties, diminishes his need for the same level of protection he once had. The bespoke security they offer is deemed sufficient, a far cry from the comprehensive protection Harry seeks. Their arguments ring hollow, a technicality used to justify a lack of action, a callous disregard for the human cost of their decisions. They fail to recognize that some threats don't diminish with titles or positions. They remain potent and dangerous, demanding a response that prioritizes human life over bureaucratic expediency. Section 6. Public outrage and support. The people stand with Harry. The courtroom isn't the only battleground. Public opinion is divided, but one thing is clear: Harry's fight has struck a chord. People around the world are watching, listening, and taking sides. Outside the courtroom, a man's voice breaks the tension. He shouts, "Love you, Harry!" A simple message, but one that carries the weight of thousands, perhaps millions, who stand with the prince. Social media explodes with messages of support. People share their own stories of feeling unsafe, of being let down by institutions meant to protect them. This case is no longer just about a prince and his security. It's become a symbol of a much larger struggle for justice and accountability. Section 7. The weight of the verdict, awaiting the judge's decision. The courtroom falls silent. The barristers have made their final arguments. The evidence has been presented. Now, the fate of Harry's fight rests in the hands of the judges. Their decision, expected in the weeks to come, will have far-reaching implications. It will determine not just Harry's security, but also send a message about the United Kingdom's commitment to protecting those facing threats, regardless of their status. The world waits with bated breath. Will justice prevail? Or will Harry's pleas for protection be dismissed, leaving him and his family vulnerable to the forces that haunt him? The verdict carries the weight of expectation, the hope for a just outcome in a world that often feels short on fairness. Section 8. A battle for truth and fairness, Harry's fight for a safer future. This legal battle is about more than just security guards and risk assessments. It's about fundamental rights, about the pursuit of truth, and about demanding accountability from those in power. It's about a husband and father who will stop at nothing to protect his family. Harry's fight is a beacon of hope in a world where power often trumps justice. It's a reminder that even those with privilege are not immune to the very real threats that plague our society, and it's a call to action for all of us to stand up for what is right, to demand better from our institutions, and to create a world where everyone feels safe and secure.